Mic check, 1, 2. All right, folks, this is our 2-minute warning, or a 2-minute timeout if you prefer. 2 minutes. Good evening, Falcons. Good if I could have everyone's attention. We're going to get started with our program. Another great night to be a Falcon. Good evening to everybody. Welcome to our 2024 Hall of Fame induction ceremony. My name's Todd Walker. I'm the voice of the Falcons for football, men's basketball through Learfield. Great to be here tonight. An honor to be your host and MC for our Hall of Fame induction. If you would, we ask right now that you turn your attention to our video screen. We've got a special slideshow video as we recognize some of the greats from the BG Athletics Hall of Fame. So many great Falcons and Hall of Famers, and we're going to add some tonight. This will be the 55th class in department history. 3 former Falcon student athletes, a legendary equipment manager, and 1 team will be inducted tonight. They'll add their legacies and their rich tradition to BGSU athletics by joining the ranks of the best to don the orange and brown. We're excited to induct Burke Badenhop, Bob Classen, Mann, Don Woods, and the 1970 lacrosse team this evening. Also, a reminder, we are recording tonight's event, and it is streaming live through YouTube, thanks to our campus partner, WBGU. Thanks to them for helping out tonight. Right now, we're pleased to have Glenn Davis, the Vice President for Student Engagement and Success and Interim Provost with us. It's my honor to introduce Dr. Glenn Davis, who will share remarks on behalf of President Rodney Rogers.
Thank you, Todd, for that introduction. So on behalf of President Rogers and the faculty, staff, and students of BGSU, welcome to this exciting event. I am grateful to have the opportunity to celebrate our new inductees to the Athletics Hall of Fame. All our former inductees who are present tonight, many of whom I've had a chance to meet, our esteemed alumni, supporters, friends, and of course our colleagues from university athletics and many other divisions from across the university. I would like to give a special welcome to Dr. Mary Ellen Mazie, BGSU's 11th president and our president emerita. Welcome, President Mazie. Please also join me in thanking all those who participated and worked so hard to make this event such a special evening, including our BGSU campus dining team for the delicious meal. So thank you again. Now, this may come as a shock to some of you, but I was not much of an athlete back in the day, or in fact in any of the days since that day. The closest I've come, though, is sharing a first and last name with a Heisman Trophy winner who played for the Army Cadets in 1940 and the championship LA Rams, Mr. Outside. That Glenn Davis was a real favorite of my elementary and middle school teachers, and this does date me. They would regularly refer to me by this nickname, and this was pre-internet. I did not grow up in a sports household. I had no idea what they were talking about, would just sort of smile nervously and wait for them to move on. But in all seriousness, we're really happy to be here tonight. I want to just take a moment to also thank all of our student athletes who contribute so much to our campus. These dedicated leaders show us what it means to be focused, to deeply and meaningfully engage with their communities, to collaborate and communicate, and to persevere. They make our campus a better place. We also know that what our student athletes and those who support them have learned in their classes, on their respective fields of play, and in the training room allow them to excel after they graduate. They become leaders in their professions and their communities and continue to demonstrate their legacy long after they leave BGSU. Such is the case for all members of the Hall of Fame, and including our new inductees. Burke Badenhop, Bob Classen, Mann, in memoriam Don Woods, and members of the 1970 lacrosse team, we are grateful for all you have done and proud that you are alumni of Bowling Green State University. Congratulations to all of you on your outstanding contributions, on your accomplishments, and on your induction to the BG Athletics Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. You had a much better nickname than I had back in the day. That's pretty cool. Time now to welcome BGSU Director of Athletics, Derek Vandermeer.
Welcome everyone tonight to this great Hall of Fame event. I've been to many of these Hall of Fames. In the course of my career, maybe 35. All different types of Hall of Fames. And when you walk into these events, more often than not, it's sterile. People come, they find their seats. This was like a family reunion tonight. I really think it was a family reunion. Someone actually had a birthday party over here in the middle of this whole event. So, but I would also say that that's what Bowling Green is. Bowling Green is a family. Different generations, different experiences, different people from all over the country have come in today to celebrate our history, our traditions, our people, the things that we most value and treasure, and that is each other. And you can see that. You can see that in the joy of the people that are here, the communication, the dialogue, and also this evening and the celebration that we're about to have. We have rebooted this Hall of Fame. Why? Because your stories are who we are. The people, these traditions that we're going to talk about tonight, are at the core of what make us great, and we can never, ever forget that. We can never forget the people that helped create Bowling Green and are propelling it forward, the people that are critical to who and what we're becoming. But if we forget that past, if we fail to celebrate and acknowledge it, and take a moment to stop and celebrate, we won't become what we're meant to be. We won't even begin to reach the pinnacle of what we are going to achieve as an institution. So the fact that so many of you have prioritized tonight, prioritized to come here and celebrate with each other, and also, I hope, continue to prioritize celebrating each and every year, coming back and being a part of this and acknowledging the next class of people, is the only thing that will sustain our trajectory. Dr. Rogers talks today about momentum and the momentum of this university. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But momentum, as he introduces, is mass times velocity. The people and the movement of those people. You are those people. You are the mass. Please come back, continue to celebrate, continue to acknowledge our history. Make sure it's a priority to all of us. Fight for it each and every day and help us to make sure that we recognize it continuously. Great honorees tonight, but I would like to just draw one important note, is that we have to seat all these wonderful tables and all these wonderful people here today. And it always starts with table one. And when we sit there and make decisions on who's on table one, I want you to note one thing. It always starts with Mickey Cochran. Mickey, thanks for being here tonight. And I'll let the team, I'll let Leave tell the stories, but you're such an important part of what we are. Our character, our heartbeat, the people that you've touched throughout your career. Just so you know, you're always table one, and you're always first person. That we're gonna build it all around. Okay. So thanks for being here. I appreciate you, Mickey. I want to acknowledge our former Hall of Fame members that are here today. Please stand and be recognized. Ginny McGee Benke, class of 2017. Stay standing, stay standing. James Hopple, class of 1969. I would tell you to stop applauding until the end, but I want you to keep applauding because they deserve it. I just want them to keep clapping for him. Mickey Cochran, class of 1992. Peter Farrell, class of 1982. Liz Honiger, class of 2018. Kurt Miller, class of 2017. Ron Zwerlein, class of 2018. Fran Voll, class of 2002. Gary Haas, class of 1994. And Gary's in an elite group. He's one of a few in our class that also has one of our retired numbers as well in the sport of baseball. Thank you, Gary. Kate Ochter, class of 2018. And Bill Jones, class of 2015. Thank you so much for returning. Please encourage your other class members to keep coming back and being a part of this great event moving forward. I'm just going to quickly run through the list of our Hall of Fame members, just so you all know who to lobby moving forward. The class of committee that introduced this particular class was Dr. Chet Hessen, Mike Chion, Donna Trotman, Naomi Lee, Marcia Sandholz, Al Bowl, Daniela Tomich, Lee Johnson, Todd Black, Cliff Botel, Mike Pickle, Carrie Turner, Ray Schneider, and our new class members, committee members are Taylor Jefferson, Mark Miller, Aaron Fahey, Greg Dickerson, and our current chair, Jamel Sesser. In order, I know many of you have come from a great distance, and you may or may not know of the great things that are happening at Bowling Green State University. I have been here for 2 years, and we talk about momentum. For the 4th year in a row, the Wall Street Journal ranks BGSU as the #1 public university in the Midwest that students would choose again. #1 in Ohio for the student experience. We've had 22% growth in enrollment in the last 2 years. Our retention rate is 81.6%. It's the highest that it's been in the history of the institution. Our marching band growth success has just absolutely taken off. And why is that important? Because arts and sports really becomes the heartbeat, the identity of a great institution. How we celebrate our arts and our sports is critical to our identity of who we are. Our president defined a plan called Forward, and everything that we're doing is moving forward. The athletics department shares that forward mission and saying we're about being forward as well, Falcon Forward. We have a relentless commitment to improvement, innovation, and success in everything that we're doing. We've experienced the highest attendance at our events in the last 10 years. We've had the highest student participation at our events in the last 10 years. Our cumulative GPA for student athletes is sitting right about a 3.5 GPA, the highest it's been in the history of the institution. Our graduation success rate, 91%, the highest it's been in the history of the institution. Our fundraising is on an all-time high, and we have some big announcements coming here through the course of this year. More and more of you, our past, our history, are choosing to change who we are and what we're becoming. It's because of that philanthropic support that we're able to completely change the experience of our students and our student athletes. And I want to thank you for those that have stepped forward and are redefining, transforming what Bowling Green is becoming. Last year, our baseball team won a MAC regular season championship, and we have our MAC Coach of the Year, Kyle Halleck. Please stand up. Our woman won the MAC FAR award, which, if you have to be really good students. Our average GPA for our female sport programs is a 3.66 GPA. So thank you to our women's sport programs. As you can see, momentum. Our people are aligned, our mission is aligned, our velocity, our direction. Thank you for choosing to come back and be a part of this great event. Just in closing, I just want to say a couple things. A special thanks. This 1970 team that we have coming back for lacrosse is a very special part of our history. Celebrating teams are important, and we're going to continue to look at that as a Hall of Fame. How do we make sure we capture the people that were instrumental, the teams that came and that had great success here? But I want to thank Dennis Vereb as well. Dennis, please stand. I want you to stand. Dennis, I love historians, and we have some, Mickey's a resident historian as well. Every time I go to breakfast with Mickey, he makes sure I don't forget a lot of things. I've got a lot of things I can't forget. I'm bound to him. But Dennis is another resident historian who fights for the past, and I appreciate it, Dennis. Thank you for all you've done for this event. I would like to thank Jamel Sesser and Max Hickey for organizing it, and our staff that have put so much countless hours. I hope that you enjoyed this evening. This is about you. It's a celebration of our past, our history, and all the great things that you've given to this great institution. I, Ziggy Zumba.
Ladies and gentlemen, our first inductee tonight is a Falcon baseball great, Burke Badenhop. Burke was a standout pitcher for the Falcons. His total of 17 career wins ties him for fifth in school history. He also ranks among the BGSU career top 10 in appearances, innings, and strikeouts. In his senior season of 2005, Burke went 9-2 with a .373 earned run average and was named the Falcon Club's Senior Athlete of the Year. He also earned COSIDA Academic All-America honors that season. Burke was chosen by the Detroit Tigers in the 19th round of the 2005 MLB Draft and played 8 seasons in the majors with the Florida Marlins, Tampa Bay Rays, Milwaukee Brewers, Boston Red Sox, and Cincinnati Reds, pitching in a total of 418 career games.
I'm a former teammate and roommate of Burke Badenhop. First and foremost, I'd like to congratulate Burke on his success as a Falcon, former Major League Baseball player, and his induction into the Hall of Fame. Once in a while, you see people recognized for their lifetime of hard work and dedication, and this is true of Burke. He's not only a great baseball player, but he's a great teammate and one of the hardest workers I know. One of my favorite stories that I tell about Burke is that he turned down a 6-figure employment opportunity upon graduation to pursue his love of baseball for a couple $1,000s in a minor league salary. Not everyone would have made that decision, but I'm incredibly proud of him and thankful that the decision led to an amazing lifetime experience. In closing, I'd like to congratulate all the inductees to the Hall of Fame, and especially my friend Burke. Not only was he a great baseball player, but he was a great friend, husband, and father. I'd now like to ask Burke's father, Dylan Badenhop, to lead us in I Ziggy Zumba. Just kidding, we can save that for after the formal activities. Congratulations, Bades.
I am extremely honored to be a part of Burke's Hall of Fame induction. I actually met Burke on my recruiting visit to Bowling Green, and when I called Coach Schmitz to tell him that I wanted to be a Falcon, I said, "Coach, I want to come there, but I don't want to room with Burke." And the reason being is because on our campus tour, his parents made us visit the library, and I thought, man, this guy's going to be an absolute nerd. What I didn't know is that he's going to end up being one of my best friends, and he proved to be one of the hardest workers in the classroom and as an athlete, and no one deserves this more than you. I'm extremely happy for you, and I'm glad to be a part of this and your friend.
Burke, congratulations on being inducted into the BGSU Athletic Hall of Fame. I still recall the first time I saw you pitch. It was your junior year in high school at Perrysburg, and you were pitching against BG High School. I saw this tall, lanky young man, loose arm, good fastball, outstanding off-speed stuff, and everything moved. And I knew right then and there I wanted you to become a Falcon. While here, not only did you excel on the baseball field, but you excelled in the classroom. And being named Falcon Club Scholar Athlete back-to-back years is a testament to that. From there, living your lifelong dream of pitching in the big leagues, I'm so happy for you. And it sure was fun watching you pitch up there. And you continue that to this day with working in the front office with the Arizona Diamondbacks. So again, congratulations to you and the family. Enjoy this weekend. Thank you for being a Falcon, and go Falcons.
Falcons, please welcome BGSU Athletics Hall of Famer Burke Badenhop.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. What an honor to be recognized tonight, to stand here amongst Allie, Bob, Don, the 1970 lacrosse team, the over 240 former Falcons, some in attendance tonight, and a lot of the greatest women's basketball team our campus has ever seen. What an honor. I'd like to thank all my friends and family in attendance tonight, those who mean so much to me and played such an important role in supporting me from Little League to the major leagues. Thank you to my aunts and uncles and some of my cousins who are here tonight, my niece Baden, my grandma Corrine, who is here tonight, some of my high school friends and my 3 college roommates along with their wives and some of their families who are here tonight. A special thanks to my high school coach, Dave Hall, who's here with us on his birthday. Happy birthday, Coach Hall. A thank you to my former boss at the Falcon Club, where I worked for 2 seasons while I was a lowly minor leaguer, and co-workers in the athletic department, Jane Zwierlein, Robin Veach, and Scott Bressler. Thank you to my in-laws, Jim, Bonnie, Tim, and Laura. To my sister, Beth, and my brother, Mark, who have suffered through just about as much baseball as any siblings could ever be subject to. Thank you to Coach Halleck and his wife for being here. To the assistant coaches during my time on campus at Bowling Green, Chris Hoyles and Dave Whitmire. Thanks to my college pitching coach, Todd Brown, who now is the head coach at the University of New Mexico. To all my former teammates who gave their all to the Brown and Orange. The ones who grinded through plate sprints in the weight room, 6-minute miles in the indoor track, who would break up ice at 7 a.m. off our own tarp so that we could play a doubleheader on a beautiful, gray, 45-degree Saturday in Bowling Green, Ohio. I'd especially like to thank my former teammate and Hall of Famer, Nolan Reimold, the 2005 MAC Player of the Year, and like I said, already a Hall of Famer. As it turns out, it's far more easy to have scouts accidentally see you pitch when one of the best players in the country is playing right field for you. A special thank you to Coach Schmitz and his wife Cindy, who are here tonight. Coach, the toughness, honesty, and focus you instilled in our teams is why we came to Bowling Green. The love and commitment to us and to this university is why we're so proud when we come back. Thank you for providing me the chance to play college baseball, for happening to see me during one of my 3 starts my junior year of high school, for challenging me each and every day to be my best while I wore the brown and orange. Coach Schmitz, thank you. To my parents, Dylan and Sharon, 2 kids from the farms of Northwest Ohio who had their first date at Jerome Library, Matt Hunley. That's why they wanted to go see it again. Thank you for providing me with all the opportunities I had to play as a kid and continued to as an adult. From the last place Winterville Pee Wee Sunnyside Eggs to the last place 2015 Cincinnati Reds, you were there for it all. Thank you both for loving me unconditionally and instilling in me the work ethic that led to so much success in the classroom and on the field. And last but not least, to my family, my son Bryce, my daughter Emily, and to my beautiful wife Sarah, who I met on this campus 21 years ago. Anyone who has played in pro sports knows that it's an experience that is perpetually temporary. Finding anyone who will sign up and grind through it all is no small task. One moment you think you've made the opening day roster in the major leagues and you're preparing to move to your beachfront condo in Miami. The next, you're telling your wife that you just got optioned to AAA New Orleans and you're probably going to have a roommate. Excuse me, you're probably going to have 3 roommates in a 2-bedroom apartment. While we both we're sure what was around the next corner, Sarah, it didn't matter to me as long as I could make that challenge with you. I actually chose Bowling Green thanks in part to some advice that I got on my recruiting trip to Miami from an admissions counselor there. She said to us, when you find the right place, when you find home, you'll know. At the time, I hope she was right, that my decision would be so clear that I couldn't miss it. I doubted her, though. How could such a big importance be so easy? And then I took my recruiting trip to Bowling Green. Despite only living 15 minutes up the road in Perrysburg and being the son of 2 alums, I had barely set foot on campus. But I knew I was in the right place with how the team was comprised of down-to-earth, regular guys. I knew I was in the right place with the importance that Coach Brown and Coach Schmitz put into recruiting me. I knew BG was home for me with how easy and without thinking twice, I was able to answer the question of UT head coach Joe Krusel at the time. Would you consider coming to the University of Toledo for your college career? No. Thankfully, he accepted my answer and didn't push too hard on me for any more reasons. I didn't have to get into the fact that, Coach, I wanted to play college baseball, but I also wanted to get an education. So speaking of an education, you're supposed to laugh, not groan. There we go. I knew I was in the right place when I walked into my freshman microeconomics course and met my professor, the amazing Tim Furst. Pro ball wasn't really something that I was banking on as a career choice, so I always strove to be as much of a student as I was an athlete, and I hope to be remembered as such. When you're a 19th round draft pick, you sign for $1,000 from a mid-major school, it's easy to develop an extreme case of imposter syndrome. The belief that you don't quite belong in the world of Major League Baseball. When you're on the mound and Derek Jeter, Albert Pujols, or Chipper Jones are in the box, it's pretty easy to believe you don't belong. Working in a front office role now, and you're trying to explain to your coworker, Randy Johnson, that not all data and analytics are bad. It's easy to feel like you don't quite belong. So while I may never feel completely comfortable in the world that is Major League Baseball, I do at Bowling Green. Because as that admissions counselor said, when you find your home, you'll know. BG's a place I belong. It's a home. And with this honor as a small recognition that I am a part of what is the best of Bowling Green, I hope BG knows that I gave and will continue to give my best to it, because I couldn't be prouder to be a Falcon. Thank you very much.
Our second inductee tonight is Falcon track great Bob Classen. Bob was an All-American for the BG track and field team and was part of numerous record-setting performances. He was a member of the mile relay team that placed 6th at the 1965 NCAA Outdoor Championships, and the quartet finished 5th in that event at the 1966 National Meet. The Falcons won that event at the MAC Championships both years as well. Bob was a part of groups that set the school records in both the indoor and outdoor mile relay, as well as the indoor records in both the 800 relay and the 80-yard relay events. Individually, Bob set the school record in the 800. That record was broken by Dave Waddle, who Bob now joins in the BGSU Athletics Hall of Fame.
This is Dave Waddle, class of 73, and I want to congratulate Bob Classen on his induction into the BG Athletics Hall of Fame. I can remember as a high schooler, Mel Brote would always send me the result sheets for the track meets. And as a middle distance runner, I was most interested in the results of the half and can remember how impressed I was with Bob's performances. As a 1:59 half miler at the time, Bob's 1:50.6 school record seemed unachievable. So Bob, thanks for setting the bar so high. You were a true inspiration.
Hi, I'm Sid Sink. I entered BGSU in the fall of 1967, right after Bob ran, finished up in 65 and 66. The mile relay team that he ran on was so dominant during those 2 years and placed in the national meets, but he also ran very well in the 800 meters and set an absolutely good time that it took Dave Waddle to break it. Henry Williams and Tom Wright were part of the relay teams, and they would be thrilled that you're being inducted. So I'd like to say congratulations to being inducted in the BGSU Athletic Hall of Fame.
Dad, congratulations on this huge accomplishment. Sorry that we can't be there to support you, but sending good thoughts your way on such an incredible honor. Congratulations.
Yeah, Dad, sorry you couldn't be there. We're so excited for you. We know how much BGSU means to you, and we couldn't be more proud. Woo! Go Falcons!
Please welcome to the podium BGSU former President Dr. Mary Ellen Mazie. Dr. Mazie will introduce our next inductee, Bob Classen.
Well, it is my pleasure to introduce not only a great All-American, but also an All-American alum of this wonderful institution. In my first year as president here, Bob Classen actually held an alumni event at the Denver Country Club that had well over 100 BGSU alums there with us. And I am so proud to say that he is a wonderful supporter of this institution, because as athletics is changing, as particularly college athletics is changing across the country, we need all the Bob Classens that we can find. So Bob, will you please come up and accept this honor? We are so very, very proud of you.
Wow, thank you very much. I sincerely appreciate being recognized. This is a wonderful opportunity, and I congratulate my fellow recipients and inductees tonight. I was at Bowling Green for 12 years, 4 as an undergraduate, 3 as a graduate student, and then working in the admissions office, and then 5 as dean of students at the Farlands College. So I had a long 12-year history here, and kind of predate everybody else since I was here starting in '62. The Bowling Green track team that I participated in included, of course, Tom Wright, who has been inducted and was a standout coach here at the university, and Ralph Kennedy and Henry Williams. And the time we ran back then, 3:07, of course will stay forever until they start men's track again as the school record. But the challenge was to this year, if you look at the NCAA finals, it took 3:03 to qualify to be one of the top 16 teams in the nation. That's a second a person faster. Quite a difference. Mel Brote recruited me. Saw his picture up there a little while ago as a junior in high school. And my dad was unemployed, and as a junior I took his offer, even though we didn't know how I was going to do my senior year. But that senior year, Tom Wright was a finalist in the 100, 200, and 400. And I was in the 400, and our mile relay were finalists. And so we had a real opportunity to kind of get acquainted and then come here together and became the anchor of that team. So I go back to Mel Brote, Tom Colliner, 1959 football team. He was my first boss when I worked in the admissions office. Maury Sandy, 25 years old, 25 years running the intramural program. He was my high school coach who came here at the second time. So I always remember Doit Perry, when I qualified for the NCAA championships. Doit Perry invited me into his office, and in 1963, that was a pretty big deal. The other influence, his photo was up here too, is Bob Dwars. Bob was a year ahead of me at Mayfield High School. Bob was all-city Cleveland as quarterback, all-city in basketball, and went to the state track meet in the shot put and the high jump. Pretty amazing athlete. He was part of the reason that I ended up coming here. I'm thrilled to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. I have a quick postscript. I set the 800 record as a sophomore. And my junior and senior year, during the season, I got bronchitis. And while I came within a second of that time as a senior, I never broke it. At age 40, I started to run again. And I ran 5Ks. People back then did that. I don't think anybody does it now, not too many. And I started to think about the 800 and the unfinished business there. And so I started to train for the 800. And in 1990, my wife Leanne and I were living in London, and I started running in weekend track meets all over the city and came back to the U.S. and in the National Masters Track and Field Championships in Indianapolis, Indiana that year, I was a Masters All-American. And so I felt like I had kind of closed the loop on that. I want to thank my children, Ryan and Kelly, for showing up tonight. I'm sorry that they couldn't be here tonight, but it was great to see them and have them participate. So I'm thrilled to be part of this opportunity to join the Hall of Fame. So many names, even the older ones I remember, and I'll get to learn the newer ones. Thank you very much.
Our next inductee tonight is a Falcon women's basketball legend and part of the historic Sweet 16 team, Allie Mann. Allie was a key member of some of the finest teams in BGSU and Mid-American Conference history. A four-year starter, she helped the Falcons post a record of 103-25 in those 4 years. BG advanced to the championship game of the MAC tournament all 4 seasons, winning the titles in each of the last 3. Allie finished her career second in school history in scoring and third in rebounding. She became just the 6th player in league history to be named MAC Player of the Year, MAC Freshman of the Year, and MAC Tournament MVP during her career. Allie ended that career as the BGSU record holder in free throws made and attempted, and currently ranks 2nd in both those categories. A 2-time All-MAC first-team selection, Allie was named to the MAC's All-Tournament team 3 times, earning tourney MVP honors in 2006. The following season, the 06-07 campaign saw Allie share the MAC Player of the Year award as the Falcons went 31-4 and became the first MAC women's basketball team to advance all the way to the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament. In that tournament, she hit 2 of the biggest shots in school history, with a last-minute jumper in the lane versus Oklahoma State and a late 3 against Vanderbilt. Those shots helped the Falcons nail down NCAA tournament wins in the first and second rounds, respectively.
Allie Mann. Can you believe that 20 years ago we were in preseason practices for just our sophomore season? Where has the time gone? Everybody knows your accolades and that you were a heck of a ball player, but when I think back to our playing days, what I remember the most is my best friend. Thank you for always accepting me for who I am and for having my back throughout the years. The fire and the passion that you played with were contagious, and it brought out the best in me and everybody else around us. You have always been a Hall of Famer in my book, and tonight I could not be more excited to congratulate you on your induction into the BGSU Athletics Hall of Fame. Congratulations, homie. I love you.
Allie had a tremendous career from us and was the centerpiece of our 2003 recruiting class, arguably the best recruiting class in MAC women's basketball history. Allie was defined by her game with her incredible basketball IQ and her incredible competitive fire. On nights when we didn't have our A game, Allie willed our team and found ways to win. Allie was brightest in the biggest moments, making huge shots for us, including the shot that sent us to the Sweet 16. Allie will go down as one of the best players in MAC history and BGSU history, but it's the way that she helped our culture build during those eras that's so special. You see us still tonight with how close those teams during Allie's era are and continue to be. Congratulations to Allie on this incredible honor, and welcome to the Hall of Fame. Go BGSU, go Falcons.
We are so proud of you. I feel lucky to have played with somebody of your caliber, but not only your playing ability, but your character and what it was like to be your friend. Something that I'm very proud we all maintain as BKBers today. So on behalf of BKB and all Falcons everywhere, I'd like to officially welcome you to the Bowling Green State University Athletic Hall of Fame. And can we just say that you are the greatest women's basketball player in program history? Can't wait to share some poly eyes with you later and maybe a couple beverages at Beckett's too.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome BGSU Athletic Hall of Famer Allie Mann.
This is a pretty overwhelming night. I appreciate you guys all being here tonight. And I'd like to start by thanking the selection committee and Derek Vandermeer. This is an incredible honor. I'm so grateful to be inducted into the Bowling Green Athletics Hall of Fame. It is just incredible to be joining the class of Don, Burke, Bob, and the 1970s lacrosse team. Just an unbelievable night and an unbelievable moment to bring, for me personally, so many people that I love into one place at one time and thank them in person and then celebrate the rest of the weekend. So thank you all. Thank you, Bowling Green, for that. To Diane Timiak, I know plenty of people in my life that really love women's basketball, but I don't know anybody that supports it the way that you do. And from the minute that I stepped on campus my freshman year in 2003, you were there. You were traveling across the country to watch us play. You opened your home to us. And you always made us feel like first-class athletes at a time where women's basketball, you know, some people liked it, some didn't. But Diane, you gave so much to us without ever asking for anything in return. And here we are 20 years later, you're still showing up, you're still supporting us, making sure we're all right. And I can't thank you enough for that time and that effort that you put into not just me, but the whole team. So thank you for your support, for your passion for women's basketball, and specifically Bowling Green women's basketball, and most of all for your friendship. Thank you. To the BG fans, when I got here my freshman year, we played in Anderson Arena, our home games. We had about 200 people in the stands for our home games. A lot of familiar faces in that 200 that are here tonight, kind of the OGs, the diehards, the faithfuls that were always showing up. And it was a rebuilding period for Bowling Green. And we built that, you know, from my junior and senior year, we had over 2,000 fans in the stands, walking into an Anderson Arena that was just packed. I loved playing for you guys. The feeling of walking through the tunnel and running out to start a game and hearing Anderson Arena just erupt with your energy is a memory that I will always carry with me. And some of the ultimate highs in my life have been in Anderson Arena when you can feel us start to go on a run and we'd make a basket and get a stop and make a basket, get a stop, and that energy is just building and building. And to hit one of those just back-breaking shots that force the opposing team to call timeout, and the whole bench goes nuts, and everyone's just chest bumping and going crazy, and the place is shaking. Like, Anderson Arena was absolutely the house that roars, and that was all thanks to you. I hope that when you think of my time here, you remember somebody that poured their heart and soul out onto the court for you guys, that did anything that needed to be done to win a basketball game. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for sharing pieces of your lives with me, and thank you for pouring your hearts into me and my teammates. Playing in front of you guys was the thrill of a lifetime. To all the coaches who helped shape me along the way, a lot of whom are in the building tonight, I'd like to start with my JV coach. I don't know how many JV coaches get Hall of Fame shout-outs, but this one, Paul Terpstra, I hope you're the first. I was Coach Terpstra's manager starting in 5th grade, and after I would fill up the water bottles and get the balls out, he'd let me go get in drills, and so I was practicing against freshmen, sophomores in high school from the time I was in 5th grade all the way through 8th grade. He even let me play in a JV scrimmage my 8th grade year. He's like, Al, you got a jersey on? I'm like, I never thought you'd ask. I'm ready to go. And it was just the opportunity of a lifetime. To Coach Terpstra, who I am so thankful to be thanking in person tonight, Thank you for building the fundamentals of my game. Thank you for the sense of discipline that you instilled in me at a very young age. And I also would like to specifically thank you for yelling at me so often and so loudly. Little did I know at the time it was actually preparing me for my college experience here with Kurt Miller. Thanks, Coach Terpstra. My varsity basketball coach, Todd Bloomquist, who's also in attendance tonight, thank you for the knowledge, the time, the effort that you put into my 3 years playing on the varsity team with you. I came to Bowling Green learning from you all these collegiate concepts. You had just gotten done with your playing career. And I came to Bowling Green as a freshman and already felt, 1, 2, 3 steps ahead because of the things that you taught me in the defensive end and offensive end. And it really propelled my career by just having that confidence from the moment I stepped in the gym here. So thank you for the time that you put into me. The off-season, after-school workouts up on the track and in the weight room where you exposed me to what it would be like to lift and run in college. I appreciate all that energy. To my BG coaches, I'd like to start with Kevin Eckert. Kevin sent me a recruiting letter every single day for about 3 years. Our recycle bin was like half, mac and cheese boxes and half Bowling Green recruiting letters. But his energy and passion for the game and passion for the little things was infectious, and I loved playing hard for him. To Brandy Poole, my post coach and my academic coach for 4 years, which I'm sure had its highs and lows. Thank you for always being the most fun van driver on road trips, for keeping things light, and for always demanding the best from me, both on the court and in the classroom. To Jennifer Roos, my mom away from home, thanks for always caring about me more than basketball, and for teaching me how to lead with compassion. Thanks for pushing me, especially on the defensive end, where I started out as highly ineffective as a freshman. I like to think that I progressed to at least serviceable by the time I graduated. And finally, Kurt Miller, thanks for taking a chance on a slow-footed, undersized post player from Chelsea who never played well in front of you when you came to watch me and recruit me in person. I don't know how it ended up working out, but it turned out to be a pretty perfect fit. Thank you for teaching me how to prepare like a champion and how to execute like one as well, and for pushing me beyond limits that I ever thought possible. If anyone sees this guy out at the bar tonight, drinks are for sure on him. I'd like to take a moment to thank my teammates. Many of you who are here tonight, if you guys couldn't tell by the noise they're making, this is actually a pretty less subdued experience you get to witness. And many more who are going to be here tomorrow. Without you all, I certainly would not be standing up here. We started off as teammates. That was a bond. That grew into friendships and then transcend into a sisterhood that's so unbreakable, and it just transcends time and distance. I thought the bond that we had, the unselfishness, the competitiveness, I thought that was normal. It's not. You all are pieces of the greatest team that I've ever been a part of, the team by which all other teams are judged, and it's not fair, not even a little. It was an honor to go to battle with you guys on the court, but an even greater honor to watch you grow, love, raise families, have successful careers. That's the good stuff. Aside from winning, one of the other things we're really good at is celebrating. And I can't wait to celebrate with you guys all weekend. I love you all. To my family, I grew up in an extremely competitive family, not just my brothers and parents, but my aunts, my uncles, my cousins. There was always something to be played: basketball, home run derbies, ice hockey, cards, WWE wrestling. I think we probably had some blindfolded boxing going on. It was, there's a lot. Bragging rights were always on the line, and it was here where I learned to hate to lose, mainly thanks to my cousin Matt, who, on the rare instances when he would actually win something, he would run his mouth about it to anyone who would know or who would listen. Thanks, Matt, for teaching me to hate to lose. To my Uncle Tim and my Uncle Howie for all the hours that they taught me, all the lessons that they taught me on our driveway basketball hoops. To my brothers, Tim and Stu, basketball's always been one of the common threads that ties us together, and some of my best memories growing up as a kid was being on our driveway basketball court and doing cool moves, throwing each other behind the back passes and alley-oops and counting down the time to practice our game-winning shots that we were destined to hit at some point in our careers. Thanks for traveling all over to watch me play. Not that you had a ton of choice on the matter, but a lot of our family vacations were tied to basketball tournaments. A couple that come to mind were the Deep South Classic, where we got to go tour Cameron Indoor Stadium and the Duke campus. And the Cancun trip, my senior year at Bowling Green, is one that lives in the women's basketball storybooks forever with you two. Tim even made it, and Matt even made it all the way over to Portugal to watch my team play in the national championship game when I was playing overseas. And we got to celebrate being national champs in the streets of Lisbon, which was an incredible experience for us. But thank you, Tim and Stu, for always being there. I love you guys. To my mom, I could never quite settle into my zone on game day until I saw her walk into the gym. Thank you for your enthusiasm, your festive Bowling Green attire, and for always being my biggest fan. Thank you for teaching me the importance of relationships and that fun and laughter are key ingredients to making lasting ones. And thank you for always being my place of refuge through all the highs and the lows. I'm embarrassed to admit, but for the first probably 6 weeks of my freshman year at Bowling Green, I would call my mom every night about 7:30 and say, "Listen to what we had to do today." And I'd walk her through every weight room, conditioning, practice, and just, she was always there. She always answered. Well, until she started handing the phone to my dad as soon as she saw it was me calling. She said she had enough. To my dad, you were a girl dad before being a girl dad was cool. My earliest core memories of basketball are being in a gym with you or being in the car on the way to a gym with you. You taught me at a very young age to value all the little things that lead to a win. A box out, a perfect pass in the shooting pocket, the screen that leads to the curl, that leads to the help side kicking in and being able to kick out for the open three, all of it. Thank you for teaching me how to lead, how to appreciate the value that each person brings to a team, and how to be a humble winner. My freshman year, I remember calling you to tell you that I was going to start the first game of the season. I was so excited to tell you. And I'll never forget your response. You just said, "Of course you are." Thanks for always believing in me. I love you. To my wife, Jill, you bring so much light and love into my life, and I'm so lucky to have found you. Thank you for standing by my side proudly through all of life's ups and downs, for loving our family, for showing up every day for me and my kids. In every life, I choose us every time. To my kids, Ellie, Jonah, and Emma, watching you grow brings me so much pride. My hope for you is that you find something you're passionate about and pour your hearts into it. Find people around you that will support you in what you love. Basketball was that for me. Taught me how to lead, taught me how to win, taught me how to bounce back after a defeat. Took me all over the world, and I got introduced to some of the best people I know today. And a large piece of that basketball story was written right here in Bowling Green. For that, I'm forever grateful. To everyone who's ever played a part in my journey along the way, thank you. I appreciate and love you all. Good night.
Our next inductee this evening is legendary Falcon equipment manager Don Woods. Don was a fixture in the athletic department for over 3 decades, serving as an equipment manager from 1962 to 1996. He primarily worked with the hockey and baseball teams, but helped out with numerous Falcon squads over the years. Woody learned his trade under fellow Hall of Fame member Glenn Sharp, who hired him to work with the football team in 1962. When BGSU added hockey in 1969, Don became the team's first equipment manager and was part of many championship teams, including the 1984 NCAA champions. Woody founded the HOGO, the Hockey Old Timers Golf Outing that welcomes back many former Falcon greats every summer, and the baseball team's annual Outstanding Freshman Award is presented in his honor.
I would like to congratulate the Woods family on Woody being inducted into the Bowling Green Hall of Fame. Woody deserves this a lot. He's Bowling Green through and through. He worked many years, 30 years, working with ice hockey and a little bit of football in the beginning, but as players come back, they always want to remember the Wood man. Wood did a great job. He started the HOGO, which is a Hockey Old Timers Golf Outing, and they enjoy it. They come back every year, and in honor of Woody and Bowling Green hockey. We'd like again thank the family, congratulate the family on Woody's induction into the Bowling Green Hall of Fame.
I want to congratulate all of tonight's inductees, and a very special congratulations to Don Woods and his family for this very deserving honor. I know they are so proud. You know, Woody would have been the first person I saw when I walked into the locker room back in 1975 for the first time. And he would have been the last person I saw when I left the locker room in 1979 after my last game. He meant so much to the hockey program, to the university, to the Bowling Green community, and to myself. He commanded respect, and he had that great fighting sense of humor. Those are both great qualities to have in a locker room and on a team. Again, congratulations. Have a great night. Take care.
Good evening. My name is Kristen Batcho. My brother Greg Woods and I are pleased to be here tonight to honor our father, Donald Woods. Dad came to campus in 1962 as a student and would hang up his career in athletics in 1996 after 30 years of service as an equipment manager, though his time on campus wouldn't end there. For the next 8 years, he mowed grass at Forest Creason Golf Course, and several of those years, my brother, Dad, and I worked at the Creason together. Dad always said the name on the front of the jersey meant a whole lot more than the name on the back. Whether the player sat the bench, was the star pitcher, or captain of the team, he treated everyone the same. In 1983, Dad started the HOGO, Hockey Old Timers Golf Outing, which still continues today. It brought Dad so much joy to bring former players back together for golfing, brotherhood, reminiscing, and even some shenanigans. 6 months before Dad passed, he and Mom went to Wilmington, North Carolina, 45 minutes from where they retired, to watch BGSU baseball play. I remember speaking with Dad after the game and how excited he was be able to watch his team play. Dad loved BGSU. Thank you to the committee for selecting our father to be inducted into this year's Hall of Fame class.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kristen Batcho, Don's daughter, to accept the award on his behalf.
Truly, it is a pleasure to be here with all of you tonight. Sorry, I'm a little emotional. Dad loved BGSU. I mean, coming here from 1962 until I retired in 2004. I mean, that's quite a long time to be here in the community. And you're right, Derek, that is a family. There's so many people out here tonight. We grew up with their children. We worked at the athletic department together, the Forest Creason. And it is just amazing to see everyone here when we come back to Bowling Green. It truly is our home, our place that we grew up. Dad instilled a lot of good qualities in us, especially work ethic. Like Ken Morrow said, Dad was there when people arrived. Dad was there when players left. Jonesy, I see you there. The two of you were quite a duo. And our families, I won't say anything else. And our families grew up together, you know, and that's what Bowling Green truly is. It's a family. It's growing up together. Dad would be quite humbled tonight. Often wasn't at a loss for words, but I think tonight he would be. He was proud of his job. He was proud of his craftsmanship. Many of times, maybe having tweaked a stick or two that might not have been legal, but he was proud of that. Coach Schmitz, I know you're here. He loved you. He truly did. You were one of the best. And it was just a team of baseball that he truly, truly enjoyed working with. Baseball, hockey. He'd say in there a little bit of tennis, a little bit of golf, a little bit of swimming. Yeah, you know. But that was Dad's sense of humor from that standpoint. When he left Bowling Green, he didn't truly leave. Mom and he were Falcon Flames, and they retired together. You know, they moved to North Carolina, where several other Bowling Green folks had moved to, and so they were very happy there in Sunset Beach, North Carolina, and that's where he passed. I want to thank the committee, especially Jim Plant, who is not here with us tonight, but he is going to be inducted with the 1970 lacrosse team, who was kind of the forefront for Dad's nomination. It's truly an honor to be here with everyone tonight. I do have a little story from this afternoon, actually. Our mom passed in January. And as good old Bowling Green winter, you know, the ground was too hard to bury her in Oak Grove with Dad. So we buried her this afternoon with him. And his father, Herb Weber, is starting the short little burial mass. It's Friday. It's an Orange Friday. And we are standing in the cemetery, and the golf carts go driving down Ridge Street. And there's a few of the band members playing the fight song as they're going down Ridge Street. And so here we are trying to have a serious moment of burying our mother. And it's the fight song going down Ridge Street. And so we all laughed because while we are, you know, mourning both of their passings, it truly is a celebration, and it was kind of a fitting moment at that time for the fight song to be playing as Father is trying to bless the grave. So with that, my brother and I would like to thank everyone again. We appreciate being here, and congratulations to all of the inductees.
Our final honoree tonight is one of the greatest teams to ever compete in the orange and brown, the 1970 lacrosse team, coached by Hall of Fame legend Mickey Cochran. The team finished the season with a perfect 9-0 record, featuring 4 players who earned All-America recognition: John Brizendine, Joe Zimmerman, John Domes, and Bill Birch. Art Curtis, Kurt Kimball, Jim Newcity, and Steve Sachs joined the quartet on the All-Midwest team. The Falcons were ranked as high as 6th in the country in the polls, which was virtually unheard of at the time for a school west of Philadelphia. The Falcons captured the Midwest Lacrosse Association Championship for the first time in program history. BGSU opened the season with a 9-5 win over Michigan, and then captured victories against Ohio and Wittenberg by identical 12-3 scores. After a narrow 11-8 win over Oberlin, BGSU downed at Denison, at the time the dominant team in the league, by a final of 8-6. Following that win, the Falcons outscored opponents by a 35-6 count over the last 4 games, including back-to-back shutouts of Michigan State and Notre Dame by scores of 12 and 9-0. And then after a 5-4 victory over Kenyon, BG ended the season with a 9-2 win over Ohio Wesleyan to cap a season-long undefeated run.
Hey, Lacrosse alumni. Welcome back to Bowling Green University for another Friday night with Mickey and Pat. No brownies and punch, but likely a poem to follow. In Atlanta, where I live, I have noticed that a lot of people have become aware that Bowling Green University is located in Bowling Green, Ohio, and not Bowling Green, Kentucky. I think the major factor there is they've come to realize that while Bowling Green, Kentucky manufactures high-performance Corvettes, Bowling Green University produces high-performance people. That's our legacy. Be proud of it. Welcome home. I, Ziggy Zomba.
How many of you still have this trophy from the 1970 season? It's hard to believe it's been 54 years since that season ended. To our family and friends, I will apologize in advance for once again being subjected to the endless stories you will hear this weekend about our time at BG. Well, here we are on another Friday night. The team is gathered with Mick and Pat. I'm guessing Pat has not made brownies for everybody, but I'm pretty sure Mick will have a poem for us. As a team, we are grateful so many of our teammates, family members, and all of our coaches could participate in tonight's induction. Our time here was truly life-changing. So let the celebration then begin. Go Falcons!
We were very fortunate at Bowling Green to be able to go out and to bring athletes into our lacrosse program when we had no history to sell. We depended on players to come in and want to be a part of growth and success, and we had an awful lot of folks that would do that and go back home after their successful and enjoyable experience at BG and do the bunch of recruiting for us to get the other players to come in. I do remember the staff that we had here was so supportive. Don Nalen was our football coach who appreciated lacrosse. Doit was the AD. Doit loved lacrosse. A lot of good things happened because of the excellent background and boosting that our campus gave us to make us have that feeling of getting up and go. We had awful good success. 1969 team only lost 1 game. The motivation for that group coming into 1970 was to win it all, and we did. We had that drive that was within each player, I think, and certainly a team goal was to be able to fulfill that obligation that we felt very sincerely about. This is a real honor to have this team recognized, to go into our Athletic Hall of Fame. Just so happy to be able to have that group go in and to cherish the experience of the hard work being recognized and appreciated by being in the Athletic Hall of Fame. Go Falcons!
Please welcome the 1970 lacrosse team to the front. Leif Elsmo will accept the award on the team's behalf. Thanks for the patience, everybody. That was a little painful for us, painful for you, and I know you're all thirsty. I took my name tag off because this is about the group, about our team. And I want to thank, of course, people that made it possible for us to be here, Dr. Glenn Davis, Jim Elsasser, and of course, Derek Bondermeer. He is a special guy. I can tell you that watching your athletic director talk. He is the real deal, and he's doing great things for Bowling Green. We're talking, would you? Everybody agrees, right? We're talking about a team, and the first thing I have to say is that I am here because our captains aren't. Both captains passed away early in their life, 64, 65 years old, about 12 years ago, not together, but within a year of each other. So they're not here. We had 3 coaches on that team. Mickey Cochran, of course, but Jim Plant was here from day one to build this team. Also, Chuck Winter was on the first team, and he's not here. Both of those coaches are doing what they should do. They're taking care of their wives who are not 100%. Mickey is doing the same thing. But of course, Mickey's here because he's going to outlive everybody on our team. Our team is really about Mickey Cochran, and that's what it's all going to come back to. It's about a group of guys, and when Derek talked about the team Bowling Green and what it means to be a part of the history, that rings so true to what we're all about. What is a school? A school can offer a lot of things, but the gravitas, what the school is based on its history. This team, 14 years the program lasted, that's it. And we have done, we think, as much as anybody to help this school go forward proudly and to protect the heritage of their athletic archives. Thanks to Mickey Cochran. That's part of our legacy, started by him. But the first thing we do is celebrate this season, the 1970 season, and we do applaud them. But our group doesn't really separate the years. To us, it's a story. It's a story that's very unique. The lacrosse players at Bowling Green. Who the heck in 1970 played lacrosse west of the Appalachians? Not too many people. In '62, Jim Plant, who became the assistant coach, came to Bowling Green from Perry Sound, where Bobby Orr grew up. He actually dated his sister, that's what he tells me. And he really didn't know what Bowling Green was all about. He kind of fell into it, met Larry Bice, who started a club team. And in '65, Mickey Cochran was chosen from the East Coast to come out and start a soccer and a lacrosse team. He took the club team in '65, and then he started the first varsity team in lacrosse here in 1966. The context is the most important thing to me when I think about this, because nothing was normal. It wasn't like basketball or baseball or football. You could go look through the recruiting list and say, well, we'll have 3 of these 20 guys or 4 of those. No. Mickey Cochran was well known in the Northeast, so he had to go to schools, knock on the coach's door and say, hey, you think you might have a couple guys that want an opportunity? That was one common thing with the Bowling Green lacrosse player, opportunity. Almost every guy that came into the program, wasn't that he was broken, but maybe something didn't quite work out. Maybe the grades weren't quite right because they were not going home to their parents when they were juniors and saying, Mom, did I get a letter from Bowling Green this week? No, Bowling Green, they didn't even know about it. Of course, they loved it when they came here, and we made something very special when we came here, but Mickey had to go talk to individual players and then offer them the opportunity to come and play lacrosse west of the Appalachians. He had to say, well, I want you to play at Bowling Green. And almost everybody that came here and committed to here didn't know what Bowling Green was before Mickey said the words. So the fact that he got groups of players to come and be successful so quickly. 66, he gets Pete Farrell and Chuck Winters, two of the best athletes to ever be here, Hall of Fame people who shaped the sport of lacrosse after they played by being on USILA committees, by being athletic directors at different schools. They had the character of their coach, and that's what our story always comes back to. Think about it. We're in the 60s. The world was a little different. Things were being tested. We'd leave practice and go out and walk and riot down the streets. We didn't really know why, but people didn't like Vietnam. They didn't like the fact that the government was taking kids and throwing them over there for what reason, so we were a little confused. Half our team on the 1970 team was from New York. The other half was from around the Baltimore area. We were 9 hours away. We didn't have our parents. We had Mickey Cochran. We had a guy who had a 1927 crew cut and a 1936 Chevy car. Think about that. We weren't quite sure if this is the guy we wanted to be with. But the character of Mickey Cochran, with the wire rim glasses, the short haircut, the lockjaw, and the commitment to be who he was without fail, was our compass in 1970, when in May, 9 people were shot at Kent State, 4 died, and we were out here without our parents looking for direction. So it was a great thing that every Friday we could go to Mickey and Pat's house, as Zimmerman said on our tape, and have brownies and punch. It gave us an anchor. It gave us a direction. But the team he built was amazing, and he did it so quickly. He would go east, find players that wanted opportunity. When you look at the dates, 65 a club team, 66 the first varsity team. He had Chuck Winters and Pete Farrell. 67, he brings in John Domes, Joe Zimmerman, Jim Newcity, and Bill was in the goal. That's all All-Americans and all conference players. Next year, Bruce Carell, Steve Sachs, Art Curtis. Art Curtis played football and lacrosse. Mickey had to ask any athlete that wanted an opportunity to play to join the team. By the time we got to 1970, our squad, Mickey's squad, was 40 people. 40 people is a big squad. He had guys like Tim Sanders, who came from the baseball team. Tom Botsberger, who was the fastest guy in the state of Ohio, went to Alabama to be a football player, play for Bear Bryant. Think about that. Tore his knee up, couldn't play, was devastated. He loved to play sports. Our team was split between the Fidelts and the ATOs. We were a tight-knit group from the East Coast, and we kind of stayed that way. And Vots was a part of the ATO group, and he joined the team. On the 70 team, just to give you an idea of what our team did in the growth department, Tom Botsberger could hardly carry a stick and do things with it because he never played the sport. Mickey moved him to defense. The next year, he was all Midwest because he was very, very, very fast, and his limitation of stick skills didn't matter in the defensive end. The key to 1970 to me, as you look at the accolades and the successes of excellence in 70, is really the icon that it is of the 14 years. The 70 team paid off Mickey's first years beautifully. He built the team up. They couldn't beat Denison in 69. They were very talented, maybe one of his best teams. In 1970, they beat Denison. They go undefeated, and they had the best season ever. The strength of the 70 team was not only that, because their winning attracted more good players. And 5 years from that team, they did it again in 75. So Bowling Green, winning it here, they start to rebuild in 71. We go to the NCAA playoffs in 72.
That was supposed to be fun, but Mickey said, good news is we're going to the NCAAs. Bad news is you have to get on a bus at 10 o'clock tonight. We won't be there till 12 tomorrow. So we got there, sleeping all night on a bus, got there in time for the 1 o'clock game. Our legs got there around 4 o'clock. So we did not win. We got back on the bus, drove all night, came home. It was a success for the guys from the East. The following year, we won it again, and we went again to the NCAA playoffs. The NCAA took us 2 years in a row. That was a great time where Denison beat us, shellacked us at their place. We started winning here, losing there, winning here, losing there. And we went there for a playoff game. They had the bus all packed. They had all their luggage in there because they shellacked us the first time. This is a game where they shot 73. They shot 60 times. We shot 24 times. Our goalie had about 26 saves. Anyway, we won the game 8-6. And it was the most shocking time in the world for them. And that was our final game in the NCAAs. Then they went and won the MLC, his team, the Midwest Lacrosse MLA Association, the next 2 years. So the team had tremendous success. 65, 66 it starts, all the way through to 75 when Jim Plant took over the team. Mick went with a soccer program, and the program was not funded beyond 79. That's some of the circumstances that made us special to us. We were the lacrosse guys. We were a little bit different in that regard, East Coast, but we use that as a bond, and we come back more than any other teams you could imagine to do social things together. What is our legacy? We have players that have come into the program, like Mike Wilcox, that have been a great impact in the athletic department here at Bowling Green. Our team also recognized that our coach loved the archives. Mickey would save things. He loved it. Of course, he drove a 1936 car, and he had a whole lot of antiques and stuff in the house. His friend, Don Cunningham, loved stats. He loved all the figures and the numbers. And the two of them started collecting the archives. They noticed that at the stadium, the rain was coming in, and all this stuff in boxes was getting ruined. It was starting to rot. So those two, Mickey Cochran and Don Cunningham, started their little pet project of saving the archives. 33 years after the lacrosse team stopped playing on Bowling Green, we came back to the university and established the Cochran-Cunningham Archives. We funded it with $150,000 and set up a plan to make them safe and stored with rolling displays throughout at Bowling Green for the rest of time. Mickey now still in charge of the archives as much as he can, but that is in place, and that is part of our legacy to the school. Through great people who have graduated from our lacrosse program that played not on this team, it doesn't really matter. We don't, you go to a guy who played at Syracuse, you say, hey, you played lacrosse? He goes, yeah. And then you say, what year? We don't care what year. Nobody asks a Bowling guy or Green guy what year he played. You were just a lacrosse player at Bowling Green. And that's the bond we have. If you go to the Lacrosse Hall of Fame, so the archives is one piece of our legacy. If you go to the Lacrosse Hall of Fame, you go into where they train their national teams. The strength and leadership of guys like Chuck Winters and Mike Wilcox and other people who have come out of here to coach and teach and be a part of lacrosse on a national scale. There are 20 pillars that line the field where they train the national teams. Great programs like Virginia and Hopkins and North Carolina, Maryland, Cornell, Harvard. When you drive through the gates, there's only 20 of them. The first pillar on the left is Bowling Green Lacrosse. 14 years shaped by one man. We survived the 70s, and we never let go of the direction and the time we spent here. So when Derek talks about being a part of something bigger, what is the school? Being a part of the community, we are every bit that, even though we were only here for 14 years. We count as our legacies some of the stats that we talked about. We think Mickey is probably the most decorated coach ever for a 14-year program. He's in every Hall of Fame there is, the Lacrosse Hall of Fame, the Soccer Hall of Fame, the Ohio Hall of Fame, and deservedly so. He's got the highest winning percentage our lacrosse players do. 76% of our games we won. That's not done. Michigan has the highest winning percentage in football at 73. We're proud of that. We've got 6 members in the Bowling Green Hall of Fame. This makes 7. We've got a pillar at the U.S. Lacrosse headquarters. We've got 2 members of Bowling Green's distinguished alumni who have done amazing things in the TV broadcast world. Pete Engelhart, 2 of them. We have 60 league all-stars and 20 All-Americans in 14 years. We help fund, preserve, and display the Cochran-Cunningham archives, and we're very proud of that. It's the work of Mickey and Cunningham, and we helped just preserve it for the school. That's part of our legacy. So, going forward, we share that dream with Derek of making the university proud, a team, and collectively doing special things off the history that we've made. This is a little awkward, but the one other thing we've done that we count as part of our legacy is we stopped playing in '79. From '79 on, there was one voice, one face in the sport of lacrosse that did all the national broadcasts, that shaped the NCAA games, that shaped all the pro leagues. One voice, one face that was known by every 100,000 of kids that play the game from coast to coast. One guy who was the authority on TV every time there was a big game. And that guy did not come from Hopkins, and he didn't come from Syracuse or Yale or Harvard. He came from Bowling Green Lacrosse, and we're proud of it. Sim said on the tape, one of the traditions of Mickey, one of the things that made our job easier, because everything for him was simple. Honest, man of conviction. He knew how to do things right. He'd set his jaw and just keep us straight, give us a compass for our life. One of the things we loved, that he would always end with a poem. Joe Zimmerman referenced it in the tape. We're going to end with a poem right now that Mickey wrote when we delivered the archives in 2013. And we were honored at a halftime celebration for the Cochran-Cunningham archives. This is what he wrote then, and it stands today. Back to BG, you come with great pride. For 14 years, you had the best ride. The depth of your gifts cannot be denied. For now, Falcon Pass will be viewed far and wide. That's kind of what we all want, and it's part of our legacy, and we're very proud of it. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now welcome all of our inductees to meet at the podium with Director of Athletics Derek Vandermeer for a group photo and the unveiling of the 2024 Hall of Fame plaque, which will be displayed at the Heritage Hall inside Stroh Center. All right, let's have one more round of applause for all of our inductees. Congratulations. Again, that plaque will be on display at the Heritage Hall inside of Stroh Center. Ladies and gentlemen, Bryce Weber is a junior on the BGSU cross-country team. He's a native of Painesville, Ohio. Bryce has competed in all 4 BGSU meets this season, including the Falcon Invitational earlier today. A member of the BGSU Student Athlete Advisory Committee's Executive Council, he'll be speaking on behalf of that organization as well as the BGSU student athletes. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a big welcome for men's cross-country student athlete Bryce Weber.
Good evening. Tonight, I would like to start off by congratulating Bob Classen, Burke Badenhop, Allie Mann, Don Woods, and the 1970 lacrosse team for cementing themselves in the rich history of Bowling Green athletics through their induction in the Athletics Hall of Fame. And to highlight, once again, a few of their insurmountable achievements. Bob Classen, an All-American who set the school record at the time in the 800 meter and was a part of numerous nationally renowned relay teams. Burke Badenhop, whose career wins, appearances, innings, and strikeouts place him among the greats of BGSU baseball, and in his senior year earned academic All-American honors. Allie Mann, who is one of the only players in league history to be MAC Player of the Year, MAC Freshman of the Year, and MAC Tournament MVP during her basketball career. Don Woods, who demonstrated loyalty and dedication to the Bowling Green athletic family. And the 1970 lacrosse team, who finished with an undefeated record and featured 4 players with All-American recognition. These achievements and accomplishments continually set the standard and foundation for what student athletes strive to achieve. Their success was built upon hard work, dedication, and excellence, not just to individual attainment, but to forwarding team progress and instituting a culture that is based on those core values. Their successes have created an environment and community like no other within Bowling Green. From Hall of Fame members, alumni, and donors, to the current and former student athletes and community that surrounds and emboldens Bowling Green State University, these inductees have embodied what it means to be a Falcon. They have set the precedent for the classes and generations of student athletes and staff that have followed in their footsteps to overcome the hardships and adversity. The highs and the lows, you all persevered to pursue excellence. Achieving the accomplishments that you all have, illustrates your prowess and ability to face down whatever challenges may stand in your way. As a student athlete, you inductees serve as proof and a daily reminder that the grind of a run, lift, workout, in the early mornings and the late nights, whether it be practicing or cramming in last-minute schoolwork, has a purpose. To don the colors of this great university, we don't think about just ourselves, but rather those who came before us, the Hall of Fame members, alumni, former student athletes, and community who worked so hard to build a culture of greatness. You all are an inspiration. Congratulations to our inductees and to many more years of Falcon success. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we wrap up, Athletic Director Derek Vandermeer wants to come back up and say a few more things. Derek?
Just in closing, we have 2 other coaches here tonight, Lou Snelling, Fred Schmiel. So thank you to our coaches that attended tonight. In closing, I give you all a charge. That charge is that find a place in one of these characteristics or qualities in what you do for Bowling Green moving forward. Give. Give generously, because the gifts of this Cochrane, Cunningham, the archives is transformational. Give. Be a part of that. If that's not where you're going to be, come back. Don't just let your names be what define your relationship to this university. Let who you are, your experience, what you've done through life. Our student athletes adore the fact when they meet people and they can put an experience with a name and connect it to who they're going to be in the future. So come back. Or be a staunch advocate. Fight for us. And we need that. We need all of you to always fight for Bowling Green. Every time you have a conversation, every time you're in your communities, talk about what's happening at Bowling Green. Be part of the army that's telling the story about who and what we are. Allison Brandenberry, please stand in the corner. Allison is our caretaker of our archive. She takes great pride in these displays that are around this room. History is important to us, legacy is important, and just thank you for the care that you give to our history.
Thank you, Derek. Again, want to congratulate Burke and Bob, Allie, Don, our lacrosse team for your inductions tonight. And the BGSU celebrates your excellence, and we recognize it tonight. Also, if you want to take a picture tonight, there's a perfect opportunity in that corner over there. The BGSU Athletic Hall of Fame logo is a great place to do that if you'd like to do that before the evening is over. We ask you to join us in recognizing our inductees tomorrow during the football game as we continue to celebrate what it means to be a Falcon. As Falcon greats, you will be forever enshrined and listed as some of the best to have ever represented this great university. Congratulations to our Hall of Famers. Once again, thanks to everyone for coming out tonight. It's, as always, a great night to be a Falcon. I, Ziggy Zumba.